Jimmy's so brilliant. It's like catching lightning in a bottle. You never know when he's going to say something funny. When he thinks of something funny, he's just going to say it. I remember coming in one afternoon when they were doing a reverse angle on the courtroom. And it was just reactions of the courtroom to things that were going on, just generic reactions. And I remember he hopped up on the stage and he was doing a stand-up show. He was off. He'd finished his work for the day. But he saw an audience and it was like, go, go, go. He also really likes to make people laugh. The more takes you do, the more you have to choose from, and it ups the likelihood that it's going to be a really great movie. And especially with Jim Carrey, because he would get more and more insane with every take. You know, he'd be like, I can do it standing on my head. I can do it upside down. I can do it. I think I can climb that wall. Whoa! How about if I slide down the stairs instead of walking? You know, he really, really thinks outside the box. First couple of takes, he'll be kind of, I don't know, stiff or awkward, because I think his mind is worrying, like, how can I make this funny? How can I make it work? And then he'll have a breakthrough about the fifth or sixth take. And all of a sudden, he's brilliantly funny. It's wonderful. At the point in a normal movie where everyone would go, oh my God, they'd clap, they'd laugh, they'd say, we got it, let's move on. Not Jim. Jim is just getting started.
Oh, come on!
Once he's figured out how to make it funny, he starts adding to it. He gets more and more baroque. He's adding curly cues and embellishments, and pretty soon he's running up the side of the wall and slamming the toilet seat on his head, doing things that no other actor would ever think of. But at the same time, on the first day, I was a little perturbed because, like I said, it's not the way I ever worked before. We did one take, and I was kind of sitting up straight. You know, we were doing a master shot, and I was sort of sitting up straight because I was sort of nervous. And then the second take, I thought, you know, that's wrong. I said, Samantha Cole is the one with the money. She's the one with the power. She's hiring him, you know. In the movie, Jim Carrey is an underling. He is not Jim Carrey, the $17 million man. So on the second take, I leaned back like this, like, yeah, let's see what you have. Let's see what you have to offer me, Mr. Lawyer. And the script supervisor came running up to me. She goes, Jennifer, in the last take, you were leaning forward. And I said, yes, but now I feel like it's better to lean back. She goes, no, you have to lean forward. I said, but we haven't printed anything yet. Because, you know, usually you don't, like, match from master to master. And she goes, yes, but the way Tom likes to work, we never know what Jim is going to do. And so the other actors have to do the same thing all the time. So in case he decides to use that, then he can cut back and forth. So I felt like, wow, all during that scene, the first scene, I was married to this wrong choice that I made on the very first take on the very first day.
This is good. This is really smart.
Thank you.
Only, well, it's not true. I mean, does that present a problem?
Of course, I was really nervous because I'm usually, you know, do the little independent films and everything, and he was a huge star. And he was so sweet to me. He said, as I go out the door, he goes, Jennifer, grab my ass. And I was like, oh, Jim, are you sure? Like, I was like, I didn't want to grab that $1 million ass like valuable real estate. I felt like, oh, that seems like a little bit cheeky. He goes, yes, grab my ass. It'll be great. I felt like that kind of loosened things up, and I did. And he was like, oh.
Thank you. I am so grateful I have an attorney I can trust.
He's telling me to do stuff that perhaps I would be a little shy to do. And I think perhaps he was aware also that we weren't allowed to come in with our own jokes. So he would give me jokes. He'd say, Jennifer, say this. Like at the very end of the movie, I felt it was really nice because he gave me an exit line. In the script, I just stormed out. That's the end of me. It's not my story. It's Jim Carrey's story. But Jim said to me, Jennifer, how about you say to your husband, don't you have a giant check to write to me? And I was like, oh, that's so good. And it's like always good when you're the villain and you can get one last repost in.
We're leaving now. Lupe, come on. Don't you have some checks to write?
Tom Shadyac said to me, he's worked with him on several other movies, he said, you would not believe how many takes we could use because the other actors started laughing. I had a really good ability not to laugh because I'm in character. I'm looking at my lawyer. This is an important, it's a very important divorce for me, you know? And I'm seeing him behave in asinine ways. I don't think it's funny at all. Samantha Cole does not think it's funny. So the only way I would crack up is out of the corner of my eye, I start to see other actors cracking up, and then it's like dominoes because it takes you right out of the scene. All of a sudden you're standing outside the scene. You're like, oh my God, it's really funny. Some of the stuff I think he did for the bloopers, I think he did them specifically with the bloopers in mind, you know? Because sometimes I'd be looking at him, it's like when he did the thing with the water, I was like, what is he doing? And how is that going to cut into the movie? And then they ended up using it in the blooper reel.
I feel sorry for them already. For this, you will pay a terrible price.
But he wasn't a cartoon. You could tell that he really loved his wife, he really loved his son, and that's what was driving him.
All right, now let me tell you something. I'm a bad father. I mean, I'm a bad father.
You're not a bad father. When you show up.
I just felt like it was genius casting Maura Tierney opposite Jim Carrey because they had this really sweet relationship and they interacted off of each other very well because Maura is a very realistic actress. I mean, she's somebody that you look at her and you say, that could be my friend, or that's my sister, or that's my mom. They didn't go out and cast like some glamour girl or some model to be his wife. They cast somebody that really comes across as a very real person. And also Maura, she's a great comedian also, if you've seen News Radio or some of the shows that she's been on. And she's a great comedian in that she's a wonderful straight person. Like she understands when to be quiet and when to react and when to react big, when to react small. So she was a perfect compliment to Jim, I thought.
Wait, I just had an insight into myself. I'm crazy. You call me up and say, wait right there. I'll be right over. And here's the crazy part. I actually wait.
I can explain this, though.
I have missed a department meeting. Did you come here in a cab?
Yes.
Where's your car?
Well, Jennifer Tilly, I can't imagine anyone else playing that part. She was so perfect for it, and she's not really like that. She's very, very bright and incredibly articulate. Oh, she was wonderful, wonderful. What a vivid color that she brought, you know, her attitudes and her reactions and her, you know, that fabulous voice of hers.
Oh, and Lupe, you keep those kids quiet. I'm not even close to kidding. Sorry. Billy threw up in the car.
You brought your kids to your divorce?
Sympathy.
Well, it's working. I feel sorry for them already.
My character, Samantha Cole, is a gold digger. And so we had this idea that she'd just be gold all over. And you can see the costumer put me in gold dresses with gold jewelry. I dyed my hair blonde. It's the only time I ever actually dyed my hair blonde for a movie. Like, I've been blonde in other movies, but because all my hair fell out when I was making this film, I decided to wear a wig after that.
Mr. Reed, you convinced me yesterday. I'm the victim here. I'm starved for affection. I'm driven into the arms of another man. 7. Yeah, whatever. With the story you came up with, I don't think we can lose. I want to proceed.
Can you tell me what it says here on your birth certificate under date of birth?
Your Honor, I object. What does this have to do with anything?
Overruled. Mrs. Cole, answer the question.
I would say Susie Kurtz and Jason Bernard brought gravitas. I mean, you could totally believe that Jason Bernard was a judge. He just had presence. He would listen to Jim Carrey's cockamamie arguments and stuff. And I've worked with Swoosie before. Swoosie is a great comedian. And she was really funny because her energy level, she had an intensity that matched Jim Carrey. She's opposing lawyer, but she's very feminist and very like, I'm not going to let this asshole win. And so it was really funny to see the two of them going at it because they were pretty much equals in terms of both being great comedians. And so Swoosie, as she wasn't the straight man to him, she was the one that was kind of getting in at loggerheads with him and getting him riled up.
Very funny, Fletcher. You want to play hardball? I'm game.
You want to be hardball? I'm game.
The thing with Jason Bernard, Maura Tierney, Swoosie Kurtz, Carrie Elways, everybody had their backstory. Nobody was operating in a void. No one was like, well, I'm just going to come in and say my lines and collect my paycheck. You could tell that everybody had Their characters have a life before the movie, and we're going to have a life after the movie. So I think that inadvertently, it was a really good thing that it was Jim Carrey and a bunch of great character actors, because character actors, what they know how to do is support. They know how to support the leading man. Everybody stood back and let him shine, but not in overly deferential way.
Fletcher, pleasure to see you. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Wow, that was a nice image. Deleted. Oh.
I always say acting is like tennis. You're only as good as your co-star. If you're playing tennis with somebody that can't return the ball, you're not playing a good game of tennis. And Jim Carrey was playing with a lot of people that really knew how to return the ball. It was just a wonderful experience to me to be in a major motion picture that everybody saw.
Jordan fades back. Swoosh. And that's the game. Nothing further, Your Honor.